Hi, welcome to I'm Just Here. I'm your host, Reese Baker, and today we have two special guests, Dénnae and Liberti.
Hello.
Period. And today we're going to be talking about It Ain't Easy, basically college edition. I always do like an HBCU experience, but I kind of want to do like more in-depth conversation about college. So It Ain't Easy came about. So yeah, I just want to start off with the first question. So how would you describe your college experience so far?
I would describe mine personally. If I had to describe it in one word, I'd say eye-opening. Well, I guess that's two words. Eye-opening.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Why do you say eye-opening?
Because college has made me realize so many things about myself, about people, about life in general. I feel like when you go to college, no one really prepares you for it.
Right.
As much as people try to, school tries to do it for you, high school, or even your family and friends. Nothing really prepares you for college. Nothing.
Right.
So going into it, it's like there's a lot of firsts, there's a lot of realization, self-realization. So that's why I'd say eye-opening. Like, not everything is what it seems.
Right.
What about you, Dénnae?
My college experience, I say my first semester, my freshman year, it was more, I don't know. Like, it was really, exciting, and it was the thrill, it was the rush, I'm a freshman, it's my first year in college. It was fun.
Right.
But I didn't make any friends. I don't know anyone. Like, the friends that I did have, they were my suite mates and my roommates. But other than that, anyone in my classes, I wasn't involved. I wasn't in any orgs or any clubs, nothing like that. So I didn't know anyone. So,
right.
So the friends that I did have, I had them then, but now, of course, we're moving on. Like, they're Greek and they're in certain orgs and things like that. So, of course, which is normal. People, go on, move on.
Right.
But I'm just recently getting involved. So it's like, I still don't really know anyone. It's kind of lonely from time to time. So, yeah.
And how you think, that's not one of the questions, but how you think you're personally, growing in that? Because I know that can be, the biggest thing. When you get to school, everything is new and exciting for you, so you kind of got to make yourself go out or, engage or, be a part of organizations versus, high school where it's, everybody's in classes, the same classes
you're
all
gonna
the
meet
time.
people eventually, right?
Yeah. Versus here, it's just, you meet some people, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't.
Right. So, other than... That's what's all the people that I took classes with, I still don't know them. Even the people in my major, the people that I do know, like I said, were either my suite mates or I already knew them from home until I just recently joined 2 orgs this year, my junior year.
Right.
And those are the people, are my friends now. But other than that, I don't know anyone because I'm, unless you're in an org or you're Greek, you're involved some type of way, you don't know anybody.
Right.
Making friends is hard. Making friends in college is so... I don't know what it was about being in high school, or maybe it's because you see the same people consistently every day.
But you see the same people here, though. That's another thing, too.
That's true, you do. But it's, no one... The classes are... At least for me, the classes aren't as intimate, so there's no, you don't talk all the time. As soon as class is over, you go about your business. You're not going to the next... Oh, I'm going to the next period, and then I'm going home. No, there's nothing like that. And even though you do see the same people, I feel like every day I'm still seeing people that I'm like, oh my gosh, they go here. I don't know.
I've never seen them before. And come to find out you had the same major as them all 3 years, and you still never seen them.
Right. No,
so I would say, making friends in college is a whole nother it's hard. People make it look easy, and if you join orgs or whatever the case is, then you can meet your community there. But if you're just an average person, you're just not one of the people who likes to join things. Yeah, if it's not for you, it's difficult. And no one prepares you for that. Having to really be on your own, and especially if you come into college, say you don't know anyone from high school, or say you don't know anyone that you just happen to go to the same school you went to church with, anything like that. If you're
just
truly,
thugging by yourself,
you're just by yourself. So that can be lonely.
I think that college kind of makes you find yourself on your own, because when you're personally for me, I didn't really know myself until I got on my own and away from my mom or my parents. So then I kind of find stuff about myself gradually, like
exactly.
being in different spaces by myself, talking by myself, just like stuff like that. But I guess the next question would be, is like college like the movies? Because I think that's the biggest thing. I think people think when they get here, it's just like parties.
Yes.
That's it. Like
party.
I think for some people it is. I think it really just depends on who you surround yourself with, the experience you have, like the type of vibe you're looking for. Like some people want that chill, just study, strictly here to get in, get out type of vibe. Some people want to party every weekend. You know, it really just depends. It could be. For some people, I know it is for sure.
It could be, yeah.
But it also depends on the college you go to, the type of friends you have. Like I think that's a specific like case scenario. Is mine like the movies? No. No. Nothing like the movies. It's no Stump the Yard. It's no Bring It On. It's no High School Musical. None of that. It's no.
Yeah, I think like Dénnae said, I feel like it's what experience you make it. It can be like the movies, and I feel like it is in the aspect of like there are like, you know, in college there's like that one person that like parties a lot. You're gonna meet that. There's always gonna be someone who's at every single function. You're gonna meet your potheads. You're gonna meet your people who can drink down,
like fish.
Literally. Like, so I think it definitely can be like that, but it's whatever experience you make it also.
And you also have to learn balance too. Like,
yes,
like I don't think there's anything wrong with like hanging out or whatever, but to a certain extent you gotta lock in and do your stuff. Because me personally, like, I know like how I am, I don't really go out like that unless it's like with y'all. So it's not all the time where I go out to like every party, because like I say like my max I do is like I go to a party for the start of the year, and then y'all won't see me till homecoming.
We were just talking about that. Like I feel like we were just talking about that last night. How you have your key points, like you have your back to school parties. You have like first football game, those type of parties, and you have homecoming and those parties and those events. You have Halloween, and then you have like Bayou Classic, stuff like that. But other than that, if it's not one of those like key points, I don't be out just to be out.
Yeah. I just feel like, me personally, like that stuff can just be kind of draining. Like there's nothing wrong. Like if you're a party person, do your thing. But me personally, I would rather not be out every weekend. I like my bed a lot, so. And also, like, you just have to find other hobbies besides partying. People
they get to college and they make partying their hobby. Like, that's their thing. No, baby. You need to go read a book, sit down. I mean, nothing is wrong with going and partying, and that's the college experience. I'm not finna sit up here and be like, no, I don't party. No, baby, I indulge when I want to. But you need to, like you said, you need to have balance. Don't make partying cannot be the thing that you do, and
partying cannot be your life or your personality.
Yes, exactly.
Because I feel like that's what some things, I feel like some people just get here and they're kind of like what y'all was saying in the beginning, like here for the wrong reasons.
Yes, or it's so much at once, especially if you come from
like a small town,
or if you're sheltered, or if your family, maybe your parents are super strict, and then you come into
and you have all the freedom,
and you have all the freedom, and you're seeing all the people, and there's already these parties, and there's drugs, alcohol involved. Baby, you're gonna have time of your life,
and it's easy to get.
It's easy
to get just sucked
in. Yes,
right.
Like
some people, once they get a taste of it, they don't stop.
Right. My next question would be, what is the biggest lesson college taught you?
I would say being okay being alone, because there was a time. There was a last semester before I met everyone in Thespian Society. It was just me. I was rocking with me, myself, and I. And I'm not used to, like, especially coming into college. I'm the middle child, so I've always gone to school with at least one of my siblings, at least my brother or my sister. So coming into college, I was alone. So that was a thing in itself. And then when I got my first dorm, my roommate had left, and so it was just me by myself. And I didn't stay in like a suite style dorm. I stayed in Bradford. So it was literally just me in my room. And so I went from a house full of like 5+ people all the time to literally just me, myself, and I in my dorm. And it was lonely, and it was very like it was sad, but just sad because I was like, dang, like this is it. Like I have no one to talk to. I have nobody to banter with. I have like it was literally just me, myself, and I. So I would say. Yeah, being okay, being alone, having to figure out, not trying to make being alone a sad thing, because it doesn't have to be sad, but at first it was sad because I wasn't used to it. I just felt like, dang. So yeah, having to be okay being alone, being with myself, I say. So I'm even though it sucked, I'm kind of grateful for it. Yeah.
I think that before Dénnae you go, I think what I was telling Tristan Perry one time when we was coming back from the movies, and she was saying something about like being alone. I think people associate being alone with a negative connotation because it's connected to a sad kind of gloomy thing, but it really isn't.
Exactly.
Like being alone is not necessarily a negative thing, and I think when people think, oh yeah, just like by myself, I think that that's when you kind of truly find yourself, is when you're by yourself. Like when you're alone, when there's nobody there. Of course it's gonna be hard at first to get accustomed to, but I feel like people associate being alone with a sad thing or a negative thing when it's really not a negative thing.
Exactly.
So yeah,
I'm just starting to hit the like learning what the whole alone thing is. Like I said, my freshman year it was me and 7 other of my suite mates. I was never alone. Like we go knock on each other's door like, hey, you want to do homework, or like, hey, you want to go out, hey, you want to go to get something to eat. I was never alone.
by yourself,
like,
right?
all 8 of us got along. We did everything together. We went everywhere together. So then, of course, by like that spring semester of my freshman year, that's when everybody started getting involved. Like my actual roommate, she got in SGA, started getting in other orgs like C100, all this stuff. Another one of my roommates at the suite mates, well, she was also my roommate because I swapped rooms. She was Miss Sophomore. Like they were involved. So of course, and then like 3 of them left. They don't even go here anymore. So by the time like I did hit an alone stage, I had got into like my first relationship. So I even had like a whole like time between there when I still wasn't completely alone.
Right.
But I realized the times when I did like become alone, I had a big like mental battle my spring semester of my freshman year. So I took a semester off. And so like even when I did come back, that's when I, had thespian society and I, met everyone. But now is my alone phase. Like I'm not in that relationship anymore. Like I'm not living on campus. I don't have the suite mates and the roommates and so like now is my alone time, and it's like, dang, like I need to be on campus. Like I need something to do. Like this isn't it. And it's not like so much in a bad way, but it's just like I know how I can get when I'm alone, like,
and you don't want to be
right
there.
And I just would rather not be. It's not saying like that I need someone all the time,
right?
But it's just like I don't know, I would get like not consumed in my thoughts like in a bad way, but it's like everybody has friends, everybody's like not even like to compare, but like there's always something to do. Why am I sitting here in my room alone doing nothing with no friends around? Like I can't just walk to the hey, y'all want to go to the caf? Like it's just it's not the same. Knowing when like even back in high school, I was always a part of something like dancing. Growing up, you're always around. I've been around the same girls my whole life. My friends that I have, I've been knowing them since I was 3. Been on a dance team in high school. You always around a specific group of people. I've never had a phase of just being alone.
I think the biggest thing that I've learned was probably like resilience, because every time I start school or like something like always happens, like I lost my dad, then I lost my grandpa before that, then I lost these people. So it's just like it taught me like resilience and like fearlessness and like to keep pressing forward even when I want to give up or don't feel like going to that class. You know what I mean? Not saying I would never go to no class because scholar first, but it's just like sometimes you just don't want to be there, and it's just that's just what it is. And it's like sometimes you just kind of just want to tune everything out. So I feel like the biggest thing I learned was like resilience, and then like I feel like me and Dénnae are twins right now because we just broke up with our dudes around the same time. So like I'm learning that too, like being by myself, not being around that person 90% of the time. But I think that it's helping me grow more.
Right, definitely making me grow more.
Right.
Yeah.
Not having to be so dependent on someone. Not even so much like physically, but like emotionally, like oh, like I'm alone, let me go like Let me go be by this person. Let me go hang with this person.
Right.
Like, I realize like, it's okay to be alone sometimes. Like, I don't always have to have somebody around. But like, that's when you start to learn other hobbies. Like, okay, let me get back into this. Let me start doing this.
Right. I feel like that's kind of like where I am. Like, I choose to kind of like do other things, like my podcast or like writing or stuff like that, like Lesbian Society or stuff like that. So I feel like it kind of shows you stuff about yourself continuously while you're doing the things, you know. But I guess my next question would be, is it scary to think about life after college?
Yes. Yes and no. Yes, because honestly right now, and I'm gonna get a little not off topic, but the way like the state of, okay, I'm gonna sound crazy, but the way our economy is right now, it was easier for like maybe our parents to leave college and then boom, get a job, and that job set them up to get a decent apartment. Now it is not that, it's not that simple, it's not that easy. Apartments are expensive. Trying to get, it's like everyone's hiring but nobody's hiring. So honestly, when I think about life after college, I am kind of scared, only because like, how is it all gonna work out? Like what's next? What's next, exactly. Because in my idea, in my head, that's what's next. You know, I'm gonna get a job, work my way up to get in my own apartment, start, you know, living my life, kind of. But baby, the way it's looking, I'm finna still be with my mama, okay? Right. And I'm just being honest,
and that's okay.
And there's no shame in that.
Like, I feel like a lot of people set that standard of like, if you're still living with your parents, like it's that's not okay. Like, you're 20-something years old, you're still living with your parents. Like, if anything, that's a blessing. That's a blessing that you your can parents be. To allow you to like stack your bread and stay home and like get your life right, so you can like say, you know, like, okay, like now I have the money to afford an apartment. Now I can get the job that I want, or whatever the case may be. But mine is the same reason. Like, it's 50-50. It's yes and no. Yes and no. Number one, because I feel like social media sets, like I said, a certain standard of how it's supposed to be. Not saying that I would follow that standard, but like, I think it's like just a timeline thing of how college is supposed to go. Like, oh, okay, like you're in college, you know, you meet all these people. Those are supposed to be like the best years of your life and your lifetime friends. And you go and you get your career, and then you meet someone, and then y'all get married. And I'm like, no, I'm nowhere near that right now. Like, I have my set of friends right now, but like, everybody moves on and goes on with their lives. Like, just because, like, say that's my certain set of friends, that doesn't mean like they have other friends and other obligations, you know, and things to do too. What I'm doing with my career, like, I don't know. I mean, I do know what I want to do. Like, it's not that easy these days to just say, okay, I have this degree, so I'm gonna go get this job. That's not how it goes, because at the same time, I know a lot of people who have jobs in the industry these days, and their degree has nothing to do with it. You could be making 10 times the money you thought you were, or making 10 times less the money you thought you were. Like, you just never know. There's no plan. You never know. It's the unknown. I think that's what I'm scared of. Yes. And then till elections are coming up, you'll never know what will change between now and by the time we graduate, or even, like I said, by the time we graduate, there's no plan. You just gotta go with the flow. It's the unknown. So I'd say when I think about life after college, I'm ready. I'm excited, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm already tired of college. I'm ready to be done. Then who knows? It might get worse. But then I'm like, better. But then it's like, should I be savoring these moments? Should I be, which I probably should, but like, should I be happy I'm in this moment right now, or should I be ready to, like, I don't know. So it's just the unknown of what's to come, and what's gonna be in the future, and how everything's gonna pan out.
Yeah, I say like I think I'm more so like savoring my moments, because I was in an internship in DC, and that kind of like taught me a lot. Like, gotta figure out what I'm gonna eat, and pay rent on time, and do these things, and have these obligations, and wake up early, and go to work, and do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy my experience, but then it kind of showed me like, oh, this is how it is for real. Like, going and, you know, doing the job, and, you know, having to like figure out the the workforce, society, how it's different from college.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like showed me like, okay, there's some things that I need to work on. Being in these places with these people, because your mom's not gonna be there to talk for you and introduce you and network with, like, you're not, like, so some of the things I kind of learned like while being there was great, but I guess like the same thing like what you said, like being scared of the unknown. Okay, I've had to do this, but how is it gonna work out? And then on top of that, like I was like 12 hours away from home. I wasn't a hop, skip, and a jump. I was more of like, oh, that's a long way.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's not bad because I've always been away from my home, but I can't run to my mom every time something's going bad in my life, or can't run to her house because that's a whole flight. So it's just like, I think that was what I was more like, not fearful about, but just unknown about, because switching to being in college and then going to a 9-to-5 job and like didn't have really no time to really like savor the moments of my summer for real. Wasn't bad. I loved the experience, but it just was like, like
damn.
Because now I'm here and I'm like, switch.
Yeah.
Go back to school. Like,
So
that's even like on the topic of like how you say like learning. That's another thing with college too. Like back when y'all say you're learning yourself. Because like say over the summer, okay, like I had a job and this is when I was like at a daycare at the time. Like being with kids, you have to do the same thing every day. Like their routine is the same. You can't break the routine.
Yeah,
like
right.
I'm waking up to go to work every morning at the same time. I'm eating at the same time every day. I'm leaving at the same time every day. So it was like I realized like, dang, I don't like this. Like I like to have like a little, I don't know, my day just can't be the episode of SpongeBob where Squidward's like tired of doing the same thing every day. I need to like now at my job at Ulta, I can say Monday I work for 2, but Tuesday I work at 10. Or like I like the difference in my schedule. So now it's like, dang, so now that really puts me in a spot like, okay, so when it is time for my career, like
now you know what you're gonna look for, what you don't, what you're not gonna settle for.
I'm like, okay, so I know I won't like this type of job because like I'm not doing the same thing every day. I like a little switch up. Or like, in the summer, like say when I was living on campus, all I had to do was like save up about $1,000, put that towards like my housing, and then after that, like when I'm working throughout the month, like I'm good, like I'm saving my money. But now I'm off campus, gotta save this amount of money, gotta make groceries, gotta buy this for that. Like when you finally resolve one problem, here comes another problem. So it's like that's the scary part. Like that's reality.
It's like we're the real adults, y'all.
Like we think we're adults now. In college.
I think I'm grown now.
But it's gonna get worse.
See, I didn't believe my godmom when she said that. And I was like, I'm so ready to get up out of her. Then I got a taste of it and I said,
time to go back.
Know what? You know
I take that back. Please
take it
say
back. I take it back. She was like, well, now you see. I was like, yeah, I do. Like, it's not fun sometimes.
It's not. It's scary.
Yeah. But my last question would be, any tips for freshmen coming into college? Like, any tips, words to wise? I got one. Stay away from the Greeks.
Leave them. Especially if you're going to HBCU. It doesn't matter where you're going, but especially if you're going to an HBCU, leave them where they're at. Admire from afar, okay? It is okay. It's cute to look at, that's fine. But admire from afar, baby.
Eye candy, that's all right.
A little eye candy, but do not approach, do not engage. No.
Right.
Leave them where they at. If they approach you, put a big old X. Block.
Right.
But take it one day at a time. College goes by so much faster than high school in every aspect. Like, boom, you're living in a new area. Boom, your classes are only 16 weeks, and then boom, next semester you're going to a whole new set of classes. Your schedule's changing, so take it
day by day.
Yeah, since it's so fast, just the one thing that you can control that, and take it day by day. Don't get too ahead of yourself. Don't get too behind. Just take it day by day.
Everybody not your friend.
Clock it. Everybody is not your friend. As much as, and them little friends you think might be your friends forever, just be careful, because you do find your people in college.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe I have, but just be mindful. Make sure they have your best interest at heart, and make sure they're not just using you because, oh, well, you know, she got this or she got that or he got that. Like, no, because that happens a lot in college too. So just make sure you got the right people behind you.
What about you today?
I have two main things. My first main thing is, I guess the word you could say is like networking. I guess like it's not about what you know, it's who you know.
That's true.
Like it could literally be a random person you're sitting next to, and you never know what they may be in the next year or two. Like my roommate freshman year was really outgoing. We could be sitting down somewhere and she would randomly speak, "Hi, like my name is like, what are you doing? Who are you? What's your name? Like what's your major?" And then I'll be like she was on the more outgoing and I was the more shy. I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is so embarrassing. Why is she bombarding a stranger? But now, like 2 years later, we're in our junior year, and she would see these people and like, oh, you remember we met them? And you never know who you may need, what position they have to get you somewhere. Like it's all about who you know.
So would you
never
say, like,
be afraid
to put yourself
out there?
Yeah.
Like never feel like, oh, like this is what I highly regret. Like, oh, it's embarrassing, or like, oh, I'm more on the shy side, which is perfectly fine. Like if that's just how you are, but I definitely say get yourself out there because you're gonna need it in the long run.
Especially for whatever you plan to do in your future, or if you plan to join any organizations or whatever the case is, put yourself out there.
Right, you never know who's in a certain organization. Yeah. You never know, oh, who could get you this internship, or who may be the president of this or the vice president of that. Like you just never know. And number two, I say, which is like anywhere, not even just in college, but just don't be a follower. Like, that's anywhere.
That's a good one.
That's like
don't be a follower.
That's from day one. My mom always taught me that from like literally elementary school. But like we're kids, like you don't really see it then and don't really pay attention. Then like you'll see it a little bit in high school, but when you get to college, you really see who's the clout chasers, who's the followers, who's just doing it like just to be put on. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I see this person doing this, so I'm gonna go do this too. Or, oh, like she's popular, so I'm gonna go hang with her. Or go be with
like,
her.
no. Do you?
That's not the route you wanna go. Do you? At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you never know what other people got going on, and that may be beneficial for them, but that's not gonna be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
Like you gotta find your own pace. I mean, you're gonna be around other people eventually to be like, okay, like to find yourself.
Right.
But at the end of the day, don't be no follower.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, real recognize real. So the people that will come to you. Like it's gonna happen on its own. Like that's what I believe in. Like any true friendship or anything, any person that I interact with or anything, like if it's meant to happen when we're supposed to be friends in this time period, then we will be. Because that's just facts. But
exactly.
That wraps up the questions. Thank you guys for coming so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Period.
I'm so honored.
I can't. Remember, guys, stay blessed, no stress, and always be here. Look out for more episodes coming soon. More rooms with people. Yeah. Period.
Yeah. Period.
Bye.